Okay. Hello, hello, sound check, mic test. Hi everyone. Are you all there, alive and well? Welcome to the live session, people. Hey, sound. Do y'all hear me? Let me see. Okay. Welcome, welcome, people. I'm gonna go and watch myself as well, see if I can. Hello, welcome everyone. We're live everywhere, basically. Let me view myself before I start. I wanted to just quickly see if the audio is correct. The audio is correct. Okay, I hear myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live session with me, Mochi and Matcha. You can see all of us here together. I'll put Mochi here to kind of like peek at all of you. Okay, so for today, we are going to go through some paper 2 questions. And at the same time, we are going to go through PSLE oral questions as well. I'm covered. Okay, this one is good. This one is good. Oh. Okay, this one perfect. Kenna? Okay, that one. Okay, that works. Okay, peoples. We're gonna do a few adjustment, peoples. Okay, that one. Then I just need to move here now. No. Okay, I shall stay here. Okay. So I have here. Here. Okay, here.
Yeah. Is it going position?
Should be okay. Okay, welcome people. We are now live.
I know Mary just now do about something about mistake.
Personal values, got it. Can. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Today we're going through some paper 2 questions so we can go practice on grammar and vocabulary very quickly. And then we'll also go through some PSLE oral questions, learn how to break down the questions so you understand them, discover different angles on how to tackle these questions as well so we can build our content knowledge together and make you a bit more ready for PSLE. Yeah. But everyone, do remember that we are currently running. Sorry. We are currently running a promotion here at Writers of Work. If you sign up for 12 lessons now and allow us to help you for examinations, you'll actually get 2 more free lessons. That's over $400 of savings, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want your final set of revision to be really, more targeted with the guidance of an experienced Writers of Work teacher, you want to work on specifically your weaknesses and then amplify your strength. So this may be the best time for you to actually join us for Writers at Work, our regular program. For upper primary, P4, P5, and P6, we do have pure composition writing programs. Otherwise, if you want to focus on really making sure you are securing that marks for continuous or composition writing. However, if you want to go for a more comprehensive practice, we do have an comprehensive English program where you get to practice paper 1, 2, and paper 4 skills. So your oral, your paper 2, your comprehension and language use, and including your paper 1 as well. Okay? So join us. You can see this boy right here with the dumbbells. Yes, it's like going to a writing gym. Going to our classes is like going to a writing gym. The same way you have to do your reps to get those muscles stronger and to get them to grow. It's the same thing when you're practicing a language and mastering it, and even more so when preparing for an examination. So join us here in Write as a Work, ladies and gentlemen. We have our 12 plus 2 promotion ongoing now. Yeah. Okay. So today I'm gonna go through a paper, and then we are gonna practice some grammar and vocabulary questions before we proceed to our oral questions. Are you all ready? No. Is this hold on, I don't have the right paper. Okay. Welcome to those of you who just joined. Hello. All right. So we are all hold on now. Give me a moment. Hey. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Today is what day, everyone? Very quickly, first, while waiting for everyone to come, we will do paper 2 plus PSLE oral practice. That works, right? Okay. Here we go. Then I'll just move it slightly here. Okay, we're ready, people. Can you all see? Hello. Hello, Pillow. Pillow is here. Epic. Oh, okay. Pillow, are you there, Pillow? Dumbo the elephant, so cute. Welcome, everyone. So we're going through some grammar questions and vocab questions today, and at the same time, let's practice some interesting and commonly tested topics for oral as well. Okay, you all ready? You all ready? Let's go, people. Now, let's try question number 1. Okay, it was Mr. Tan and not Miss Lee who painted the wall all by blank. Okay, this one I would say is pretty straightforward. Okay, this one is Mr. Tan, I would say, is the hello, can you see me? Yaya Papaya, welcome. We're talking about Mr. Tan basically. You see the double comma here is also an extra info. All by what? So pretty straightforward, no? Pillow says 2. Yaya Papaya says 2. Congratulations. We are starting off very strongly. All by himself. This is a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive is when you want to, your object is your subject, So it's number 2. Very good. Very good. We're on the right track. Yeah, Papaya and Pillow and Dumbo the elephant. All right, number 2. Let's go, everyone. Welcome to those of you who just joined. Please remember to like and follow and share the live. Okay, I wanted to buy the toy, but it cost 2 blank money. I could not afford it. So 2 things. This one is very straightforward. The first thing is when you're dealing with quantifiers, okay? Let's name them properly so you understand the commonly tested questions you're always dealing with when it comes to grammar, okay? Now, let me zoom you out a bit so you can see my handwriting at the side. The first thing you do when you're dealing with quantifier question is check the noun, the modified noun, whether it's countable or uncountable. So the modified noun is money. Hello, Sav. Hi, Kate. Why are you crying, Kate? Now, everyone, quick question. Money, is it countable or uncountable? We're doing step number 1 in our process here. Ladies and gentlemen, sure, after grammar can do SNT. Yeah, Papaya, for today, actually, since we are very close to PSLE oral, after we're doing the vocab, I'm going to jump straight to some discussions on PSLE oral themes, and let's brainstorm together some different angles that we can explore to answer these questions. Yeah, do not worry. As soon as we're done, we are doing a few things here with the live session. We're changing them a bit to focus on what's really important to you in the coming PSLE and paper 1 and 2. I understand that. Don't worry. Let's give her 10K likes. Okay, Rizwana Yusuf, very good. Money is uncountable. Okay, so we have done number 1. So from that alone, we can already cancel few and many, because few and many, you use it only for countable nouns, right? So in the method of elimination. Now, the second step you're going to do is check the context, whether you need a high amount of something or a low amount of money, okay? From the context itself, do you need a high amount of money? It says here, I could not afford it. If you cannot afford it, that would mean to say the toy that the person wants to buy is too blank. We're looking for a high amount of money, right? So we don't say too little, we say too much. Okay, too much. That's number 4. Anyone who answered number 4? Oh yeah, actually I see it. I see you answered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you, people. All right. Well done, Cosmic Powers. Welcome to you. Now let's move on to number 3. Ready, people? Grandmother blank for her medical checkup annually as she has several health issues. This one is easy. You're being tested on both subject verb agreement plus tense. So be very careful with both, okay? Pillow, that was quick. You're going for number 2. Goes, is it? Anyone wants to agree with Pillow's answer, or you want to give a different one? Let's see. Rizwana, okay, Yaya Papaya, Rizwana also agrees. Okay, this one is pretty straightforward. Grandmother is singular, right? So subject verb agreement we've figured out. Cannot do go. Okay, that's the only one we can actually cancel for this case. And the second thing is annually. The moment a habit is an action is habitual, it's regular, annually, daily, regularly, like annually, daily, weekly, monthly, every Tuesday, every Monday, every day. The moment you see a pattern of regularity, it's present tense. Simple present tense, so you are correct. The answer is indeed number 2. Good job, people. Now, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to number 4. All the flights were either postponed or canceled, blank the heavy snowstorm. Okay, what you want to say here is the right, we're looking for the right preposition, no? Okay, the honored one goes for number 4, during. Okay, Pillow also goes for 4. Anyone else wants to contest this or also wants to agree? Why Papaya? Why 1, 2, 3, and 4? What is this, Yaya Papaya? Now, pretty obviously, can you also say due to? Yeah, all the flights were either postponed or canceled due to the heavy storm. Correct, Pillow. Unfortunately, it's not one of the options. Yeah. Sure, I blur. Okay, for this case, the answer is indeed number 4, during the heavy snowstorm. Good job. Okay. Now, number 5, if Sally blank litter on the floor, she will pick it up. Okay, this is a classic conditional. I'm gonna give you a clue. This is conditional type 1. Let me see if one of you can remember. I usually get you to memorize 3 sentences when it comes to conditionals. What was the first sentence that I get you to memorize? That's the main source here. Conditional type 1 is if I what? If I can, I. Very good, Pillow. I will. So then you notice the if statement is in present tense, and then here is in future tense. You notice this is also in future tense. Conditional type 1 is normally used for things that are likely to happen, okay? So in here we need present tense as well, simple present. So Sally is singular. If Sally sees, so that's number 2. Okay, remember the 3 sentences I usually ask you. If I can, I will. That's conditional type 1. If I could, I would. So if the if statement becomes past tense, then the next statement would be would. Then the third one is the remorse one, the one that you like, the one that sounds like a remorse because there's nothing you can do about it anymore. If I had studied, I would have passed. Okay? No? It should be seashells. All right, everyone. Good job. Let's move on to number 6. The girl blank the principal praised during the assembly is my sister. For 4, how come cannot be by? Marcus is asking for 4. Let's see. Now, let's go back to number 4. All the flights were either postponed or canceled by the heavy snowstorm. If you say by, listen, Marcus, by would mean to say the snowstorm is the one who did the canceling. By the heavy snowstorm. So it's like talking about the snowstorm as a human being who actually canceled the flights. Yeah, so cannot use by. Now, let's move on to number 6. Okay? Now, some of you answered number 2. Cheyenne. Is that how I pronounce it? Cheyenne. Number 4. Your answer for this is number 4, is it? Okay, some of you are answering me number 2. Okay, number 2. Okay, this is the classic hamburger rule for when you use whom. You will notice that it's being sandwiched by a noun or a pronoun. Okay? That's why sometimes I call this the bodyguard rule. There's like bodyguards on both sides. As long as these 2 nouns or pronouns in either side does not refer to the same person, the rule works. Okay? So you are correct to say number 2, whom. Hi, Ozil. Welcome to you. Happy that you're here today. Okay. Now, moving on to number 7, people. You're all doing very well. But do remember the rules when we talk about them. And even challenge yourself to identify like, oh, this is a commonly tested question. This is subject-verb agreement, or I'm being tested on tense, or I'm being tested on, let's say, question tag. Then it prompts you to remember the rules you've been learning. Now, number 7. My elder sister studied law, blank Nanyang University before she graduated. Okay. The question is studied law where? Okay. Who wants to give this a try? Okay, you're all saying number 1. But Cheyenne goes for number 2. So we have 2 different answers. Okay. Now this one is important. You know, prepositions is going to haunt you even after school. It's always a struggle for all of us, okay? Now, Ozil also goes for number 2. So we have some people who went for number 2, some people who went for number 1. I think it's pretty obvious that on and from are not possible answers. On, let's just cancel this one first, right? Position on the surface, okay? You position it on the surface, right? But cannot the surface. However, do take note, everyone. On can be used for certain expressions, like, for example, you say on campus, right? So just be careful with that. But in this case, on is not the answer. From is, of course, origin or source, so it cannot be. Now, let's see which one is correct. Do you say, my sister studied law in Nanyang or at Nanyang? Now, when you say in, you usually talk about something inside a place, or you can say within the limits of something, right? Within certain limits. Now, it's actually not commonly used with study when referring, okay? Not contextually used when referring to institutions. So contextually, you actually say at Nanyang, okay? You don't say, especially when you talk about the school or the educational institutions, you don't say in this school, you say at this school. So the answer is number 2, everyone. Mhm. I am inevitable. Uh, okay, okay. Okay, everyone, let's move on to number 8. Okay. Our runners have qualified for the upcoming semi-final round, blank they. And I am Iron Man. Do you say this in do you say in this establishment? In this establishment, if contextually you want to mean that you are actually inside the establishment, that's a good question. Do you say I'm at this establishment or I'm in this establishment? I would love to check if both are actually possible because I know for sure you don't usually use in, especially for educational institutions, but for generic establishments, I'm not quite sure because in my head, contextually, if you want to refer to you are actually inside, you can say in, but location wise, you say at. Mm. Now, our runners have qualified. Okay, this one is very easy. This is question tag. You can see have here. So then you know it's positive. So then we need the negative version. So we say, haven't they? Right? Okay, pretty obvious. Okay. Now let's move on to number 9. That was an easy question. That was a giveaway. Okay, it's a giveaway for you. Sometimes we give you easy ones. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Rights to Work community. Number 9, blank will change your habits. We will continue to pollute the environment. It's like, if not, you want to talk about condition, but you are especially highlighting a negative condition. And for this case, you always use what? We have 2 people answering. Number 1 is it. Thank you for sharing the live, boo. All right. Good job, Cheyenne and Ozil. It is unless. Okay, very good, very good. I see people's answers. Okay. Now, let's end strong. You've been doing very well so far. Number 10. My cousins blank in Australia since they were born. Okay. You're being tested on tens. Since you see this word big, this is a very important keyword for a very specific tense. Since will always tell you that something started in the past and is ongoing and continued in the present time. What tense is that? Okay, Cheyenne, Rizwana, and this person whose name I cannot read but has the, emoji. All right. Now, Rizwana, good try. Ozil, good try. When you see the word since, right? It's present perfect. So it's either present perfect continuous or just present perfect, the has and the have, right? Because the one very important element of present perfect is that there's an implication that it started in the past, plus it's still ongoing now. Okay, so we're living cannot because this is past continuous. Will be living is a future. Had been living is past perfect. So the answer is number 4, present perfect continuous. Okay, good job. Since automatically changes it to present perfect. Good job, Pillow. That's correct. So indeed, the answer is number 4. Well done, people. We have just finished the grammar questions. Very strong, people. To those of you who just got into the live, welcome. And Teacher Mystical. If you have not followed us yet, please do so. Let's continue having live more sessions together. I am now proceeding to the vocabulary question. But do keep in mind, to those of you who are very new here, we are currently running promotions here at Writers of Work. If you sign up for 12 lessons in our regular programs, you will get 2 extra free lessons. That's about $400 of savings. This is a very good time for you to join us so we can help you with your final, last lap revision just before your end of year examinations or your national exams, O levels and PSLE. Okay? Yeah. Ozil, you're lucky the ads are not that long, huh? Okay. Now, vocab. Let's test your vocabulary skills, ladies and gentlemen. Winning first place in the tennis tournament was easy for Peter as all his blank were not as skilled as he was. Wow, it was very easy for Peter. Why do you think so? Why was it very easy for him? Okay. Now, Pillow goes for number 3. Cheyenne, 3. Be careful, huh, with your choices. Foes. Okay. So, winning first place. So, a few things I'd like to highlight. He is in a tournament and he's winning. So, it's a competition, correct? Okay. They were not as skillful as he was. Okay. Keywords first. Now, which ones? All of you are saying number 3. But why can't we say all his participants? Why not participants? Let's see. Participants cannot. It's too general. There is a more specific term in the options that is actually more concise and precise. So for now, let's go for your answer. Opponents. Okay. Now, opponents is a very specific word you use for people. People you are competing against. Is this word specific enough that will fit the question? Of course, correct. You're correct. The answer is number 3. Why can't we say spectators? What's wrong with spectators? Who are the spectators? Can you tell me? Let's test your skills with all the other words here so we make sure you understand them and you still learn new words even if you get things correctly. Correct. These are the people who watch the event, okay? People who watch. They don't compete against you. So they don't, yeah, it's not the right answer. Now, I do think some people may think like, oh, can't we say Peter, it was easy for Peter as all his athletes, were not as skillful as he was, okay? So athletes, I think you're all aware, are people, right, skilled in sports. And they may be doing sports. However, if you say athletes here, it does not indicate being competitors of Peter. We need the word that indicates competition. So the best word is number 3. This will not make sense. Correct, Boo. That's also correct. Number 12, let's go. Ooh, phrasal verbs. Interesting. Let's see how good you are with phrasal verbs. The girl did not stop crying until her mother blank and brought her the toy. So the girl like, I want the toy. So eventually mother what? So we start to have answers here. Number 1. Okay, let's define the words. Drop in your answer. Let's go. I know I'm going to define the words. Then tell me if you want to stick to the same answer or you want to change it. I'll give you that freedom. Did mother gave away? No, you cannot say it that way. When you say did, you use base form. Did mother give away? Okay. Gave way or gave away means you collapse or break. No, she did not. Or did she? When you gave back, okay, you return. Or you turn a favor, or you return something good, or you return something that's been done to you or that's been given to you, okay? Give out is pretty obviously, you distribute. Or there's another meaning. Always remember, it's important that you revise phrasal verbs because some phrasal verbs have more than one meaning, sometimes 3 or 4 of them, okay? Give out can also mean it stops working, huh? So you can say, for example, batteries are likely to give out soon. Like that, okay? Gave in. When you give in, it's like you finally agree to something after refusing for some time. For a period of time. I guess we are all aware of the right answer, right? So the girl has been, I want the toy. Mother said, no, cannot. But I want the toy. She insisted. So eventually mother, correct, gave in. Well done. The answer is number 1. Good job. Number 13, let's go. The town was completely blanked by the earthquake. All the buildings collapsed and people were left homeless. So we basically want to talk about, the damage. The very, intense damage that was Sorry. That was done to the town. Was completely what? Okay, we have number 2 from Rizwana. We also have number 3, devastated, obstructed, uprooted. Oh my god, we have 3 different answers. Okay, okay. I see. Now, again, oh, Elmira or Elmira, don't know how to pronounce that. Thank you for following us. Okay, let's define them and let's see which is the right word. Uprooted is you're pulling out something from its roots. Okay, pulling out. Pull out something from its roots. Okay, obstructed from the word obstruct, right? You block or hinder progress. Okay, now devastated, when it's devastated, that means to say it had severe damage. And finally, overpowered, okay, overcome with superior strength. Now, from these definitions, what do you think is the right answer? It would be number 3, devastated. The town was completely devastated by the earthquake. That would mean to say the town endured severe damage because of the earthquake that happened. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, number 3. I mean, I would not hope for a complete annihilation, boo. Yeah. Yeah, natural disasters are very sad. Okay, number 14. I think you may all have heard that, there was a volcano erupting. Number 14. His description of the incident was such a blank that everyone found it hard to believe him. Okay, your clue is people can't believe it. Okay, that's your clue. Now, how would you describe his description if people don't want to believe it? Okay, Elmira or Elmira. Elmira, how do I pronounce it? Number 1, Elmira, or number 2, Elmira? Okay, so Rizwana goes for 3, 3, 3, 3. All of you go for number 3. Anyone else who wants to give an answer that's not number 3? Okay, Cheyenne also goes for number 3. You're all saying he's exaggerating, is it? That's why people don't believe, okay? When you're exaggerating, that basically means you're making something seem larger or more important or better or worse than it really is, okay? Make something better or worse than it really is. That's probably why people are not believing him. You're correct. The answer is number 3, exaggeration. He's exaggerating, okay? Now, exhilaration is happiness. So let's just make sure you know all the other words. Okay, I'm exhilarated. That means you're happy. Okay, explosion, obviously, it's a violent release of energy. It's very sudden, boosh. Okay, and extravagance is like, excessive or unnecessary spending behavior. Now, so 14, you're all correct, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. Okay, let's move on to number 15. Chanel. Extravagance, yes, boo, correct. Now, the first few months in the army was tough for Jack, but once he got used to the rigorous training, it was blank from then on. Okay, so you are being tested on what? Idioms, correct? So when you read them, don't take them literally. They have special meanings. What do you think? What do you think? It was what? Plain sailing, is it? Smooth sailing. You're all going for number 1. What's the meaning of these idioms? So you can also use them for when you do composition or essay writing. Water under the bridge, that means, it's okay. Like, I'm very sorry. And then you say, it's okay, it's water under the bridge now. Okay? What does it mean? Water under the bridge is like, past events that are no longer considered important. Okay? So it's okay. That's water under the bridge. Forget about it. I'm fine. Like that. Okay? Now, a roller coaster ride, of course, if you imagine how a roller coaster ride is. Can I assume that everyone has tried going for a roller coaster ride? It's like up and down is just sudden and extreme changes, right? Situation with sudden and extreme changes, up and down, sideways, like that. Okay, bells and whistles. Okay, when you say like those are just bells and whistles, we don't need them. When you say that, these things are additional features that are unnecessary. Often unnecessary in contextually when it's used now. And when you say plain sailing or smooth sailing, as someone said just now, who was it? Boo, right? Yes. You can say that smooth and easy process. So in this case, from the question, he struggled in the beginning, but you have the word but, right? So there's a contrast. If the first one was a struggle, the second phrase would be an opposite of it. So we go for something positive. It was then easy for him. So number 1, well done, people. A roller coaster ride represents bipolar disorder. Why do you say so, Pillow? It's because people go through many different emotions, is it? Is it lagging? Am I lagging? Or only in Boo's, at Boo's end? Because it could be your internet, Boo, not mine. But if I'm lagging to everyone, that means to say it's mine. Although we've been having Wi-Fi issues actually recently, so I'm very sorry if I'm lagging. I just kind of like repeat what I'm gonna say to all of you. Okay, everyone. Welcome to those of you who just joined. Please remember to follow us if you have not yet. Click that notification bell so you get notified when we go live and we can go more live sessions together. Now, I'm gonna move on to some PSLE oral questions this time, but to those of you who are not aware yet, we are actually going through a 12+2 promotion in Writers of Work. If you join our regular programs and sign up for 12 lessons, you will get 2 additional free lessons, which is something that will be very helpful for you for your end of year preparations. Okay. Now, that's over $400 of savings. We have comprehensive English programs that would help you prepare for paper 1, your writing, paper 2, language use and comprehension, and paper 4, oral. Okay. So please join us here. WhatsApp us at 84049281 or DM us your contact details. Now, it's very important that we continue practicing our oral skills. What I'm going to need your help now is let's talk about main points and different angles that you can use to tackle these commonly tested essay questions. Oh, no, sorry. Commonly tested oral questions for PSLE. Also applicable for O-level students, by the way. It's very important that right now when you revise for oral, right, you make sure you're aware of commonly tested themes. And number 2, you prepare very specific personal experiences for them. Number 3, you prepare statistics or content knowledge that you can use to elaborate on them. And that's what we're doing now. Because unless you expose yourselves to these information and practice speaking them out loud, it's going to be very hard to expect these content to get out of your mouth during the oral exam itself. Okay? So today, actually last week I went on to talk about sports and hobbies, correct? So this time around, let's talk about public transport. Okay, public transport. First things first, is anyone here has not ever taken public transport? Ever? I'm asking because I've had students who tell me, sure, never took the bus, never took the train. I am asking, so that's why I actually really, I tell them experience it. Okay, nothing beats an experience, right? So let's talk about public transport. Me, I take the bus. That's perfect. Okay, public transport is also good for the environment. So public transport can be something that can branch out to environment themes and topics. Okay, so a very good theme to actually start building our content knowledge in. Okay, you take both. Perfect, Cheyenne. Now let's discuss the first question here. Describe your usual bus or MRT journey. One thing is for sure, the moment the question is very much geared towards asking you for personal experience, remember your 5W1H, use that as your guide. Okay? Now, describe, so I'm just going to highlight it here very quickly before I move on to talk about some things that you can highlight. Okay? 5W1H. Please always remember that. Your usual bus or MRT journey. So what's the usual? Do you actually, I take brown line. Okay, very good. So you can actually talk about the lines. Okay, lines you take. So for example, I take brown line, I take green line, I take the red line, or I take the circle line. That's good, right? For bus, you can talk about very crowded. Is it? Okay. So for bus, you can talk about the specific routes or maybe the bus number if you know. But it would be good if you know where it usually passes by, which highways, which roads, the one that passes by Pasir Panjang or the one that goes through. For example, when I used to live in the east, I would say I used to take bus 10 and bus 30, but I know bus 10 takes longer because bus 10 has more stops in the city center compared to bus 30, something like that. Oh, you're now starting to talk about situations that are common in public transport. Okay. Now, first things first, we're talking about description, right? We're talking about descriptions first. Okay. So let's start with visuals. Visuals first. What do you see in a train station? What? We're starting with what, right? So you can, I will accept the crowd. And so you can use here your crowded, your creative phrases on a place as crowd. So packs like sardines, okay, filled to the brim, right? Okay. So use those. Usually after I exit the school gate, I will go to bus stop adjacent to our school. Everyone glued to their gadgets. So you can talk about the crowd. And even the crowd itself, you have things to talk about, okay? Using their devices. What else? And shops. Okay, very good. I will accept that. You can also see shops because you can talk about, when you talk about the entire journey, you pass by the whole, like you pass by a few places before you actually get to the train station. So you see shops as well. Noisy children. Okay, so crowd, shops, and specifically for I want is there something specific that you only see in this transportation places, like that is helpful, something that's helpful for the commuters? I want something specific too, because if you say shops, right? Okay, I see shops, but shops are not essentially, a main. It's there to for people. Oh yes, very good. The gantries. What else? We're talking about more specific things now, correct? Okay, I have a question. Have you ever seen those like things that are circle on the? It's either it's like many circles and it's color yellow, or sometimes it's like it's tactile. So it's like it's like a yellow lane that goes all around the train station. It has circles. They're tactile. So something is protruding in this yellow lane. Do you know what that is? Are you aware what that is? Let me see. You're correct. There is a help desk. The dementia flooring stickers. What? The yellow line. Help desk. How can I show you? I show you up. Let me show. Are those for the blind? Correct. Those are for commuters with mobility needs or accessibility. With mobility needs, especially for people who are sometimes there are people who are not. For example, they're not fully blind, but they use their stick to guide them, and so those tactile lanes help them to find where the train station is. It leads them all the way to the train station. Tactile, let's call that what? Tactile guidance. So this is something you can talk about, not just for public transport, but also for like how the government is trying to make sure that public transport is inclusive, right? Then, um, for the use of people who like really cannot see and use a walking stick. Correct, correct. Hi, Mariah Carey. Well done. So seeing alone can help you already talk about a couple of things, but that's why I dived into a few things that are very much more specific to these public transport places. So at least it makes your answer more specific. Okay, lift, very good. Um, the moment we're talking about accessibility, we also have lift for people using who needs to use a wheelchair, and not just lift, by the way. Along with the lifts, what else to really make sure that it's wheelchair accessible? Lift and what? There's one more. It is this one. Ramp, very good. Hmm. So at least when you talk, okay, ramps, very good. Well done, well done. Okay. Now, I want to talk about inside the bus and the train. Okay. So far we have talked about what's outside, correct? Okay. So I want to talk about what's inside. So it's still C, but inside. Something specific in these vehicles or in these moving priority seat. Thank you. So I'm looking for that. Well done. Priority seats. Okay, let's talk about this. There's plastic seats, the seats themselves, right? And I see you can see the maps. You can see ads as well, right? Do you notice there are ads everywhere? Okay, there's ads. There's also signs, signages, handles for people. Well done. So it's very good, right? Because the discussion we're doing now is actually helpful for you for oral, but also for actually writing, making something more vivid, correct? Okay, and you can see teacher yapping about. Hey, I'm not in the trains yet. Don't worry, I'll be there soon. Okay. Kiyasu aunties that push. Hey, boo! Not all aunties, also uncles do that also. Okay, now let me just quickly talk about priority seats. Okay, do you make sure that these priority seats, how do you make sure these priorities are being used by the ones who need the priority? Okay, offer them to whom? Offer them to whom? Okay, for people who have special needs like pregnancy. Okay, so I think what you want to say there, okay, priority seats, you want to kind of like offer them to elderly, or I would say a generic thing you can say is vulnerable. Okay, vulnerable riders. So this covers the pregnant ladies who may have a hard time balancing if they're standing than if they're sitting. Okay, elderly people or people with um, special needs. Okay, I'm very vulnerable. My God, boo. How vulnerable is vulnerable? Huh? All of you vulnerable now, is it? Okay, now, so these are things that even I even want you to talk about the announcements, even the announcements, TVs that you see, and so on, all this, all the guides that you see. One thing I can tell you that I want you to think about when you're describing your full transportation experience is that talk about the benefits of having all these very important features, even the cleanliness of the stations. Appreciate these things when you actually want to detail things out. So if in this discussion I wanted to take away that, number one, you just don't say, oh, I take the bus, I arrive at the train station, I beep, and then I go in, I take the bus, listen to music, look around sometimes, or maybe sleep and then go out. Okay, if you make it, put some more meat into your discussion by talking about what are the things and features they actually put in this public transportation, and they put in these stations or areas to make it more accessible for everyone, to make the travel time, to make the whole travel experience seamless for all of you. And in the meantime, make it a comfortable experience more so to encourage more people to commute instead of buying private cars. Okay? Emergency exits are also there. Okay? Yes, even the buttons that you can use in case there's emergency that actually happens inside the train itself or inside the bus itself. Correct? Okay. So describing, I need you to discuss all these things. Very important. Okay. Now, I want to highlight it is cheaper than taxi. Yes, obviously. Correct. Now, I want to zoom in a bit more since we're talking about public transport. What I want to zoom in is here, this question. How do you show consideration on public transport? Okay. Now, this is when I usually tell my students that there are some themes that will overlap with other themes. So because this can be public transport, but public transport can be asked in a technology theme. Like how do they make sure everything is like updated with the right technology to keep your experience seamless, right? But public transport can also be angled on a kindness theme, which is in this case, right? So some themes, more often than not, they can overlap. That's why we're doing this live session so you understand the overlapping features of these themes. Okay, push people consideration ha also. What do you mean platform screen doors? Okay, how do you show consideration? Give me some examples. This should be easy for you. I expect it to be good people. Okay. Boo. Okay, offer seats, um, most especially to those vulnerable riders. Okay, so you can talk about pregnant ladies. Okay, elderly, and so on. Don't glare at people. Hi, Cher. Hello, Izzy. Welcome back to you. Okay. Somebody said here, put television or posters to help those people in need. Cheyenne, I need you to explain this to me. Are you the one who's going to be putting televisions and posters? I want you to attack this question in such a way that it has to be you coming from your perspective. How can you show, how can you show consideration on public transport? Okay. Blast, okay. Don't give me all the opposites, huh? Listen to me. I'm gonna, if you always give me the opposite, how Ozil, you are at risk of being muted. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the opposite of what Ozil said. Um, what do you call this? Do not blast. Use earphones, or headphones. Okay, so as not to um blast. Basically don't be noisy lah. Give him money. Convince an elderly to give you a seat. Huh? Very good. Okay, these are okay. Offer seat. Use earphones. Is moving to the rear in a bus when there are no more available seats. Consider. Oh, that is very nice. Okay, I like it. Now I want you to start talking about things that are not obvious. Because so far you're giving me the obvious things. These are the things that I like. Let's dive deeper into this and let's learn from each other. So you have these very unique and specific responses when you answer these oral questions. So I like this one, for example, Mariah. Moving to the back of the bus so that the next people who will board the bus, even though there's no seats for them, there is still at least space for them. To the back of the bus to make space, right? Okay, I like this. Okay, let's talk softly. Correct. If like ideally, if you can afford not to talk, good. But if you have to talk, please talk softly. Talk softly, or don't talk at all. Auntie, so that people can let old people board first. I like that. Make way lah. There's okay. Talking about boarding, especially for train stations. Yes, thank you, Cheyenne. That's exactly what I'm going for. Right? This one is good to highlight because a lot of people do not follow this. Every single day I take the train. So make way for people alighting. Let them out first. Mhm. Let them out first, then you go in. And there's a space, right? Like they're literally doing everything for you. You can see the stickers where you should be standing. Uh-huh. Right? So make way for people alighting. That's a very good one. Might your battery out, but outside. Ah, yeah, Izzy, are you going home soon? Teach kids not to play around, okay? Actually, this is something good. Ozil, I like where your answer is going, because I like, okay, I need you to consider this. This will make your answer elevated, okay? Especially, you can actually say that, okay, you can say all these things, right? Like, I try not to make so much noise. I follow the rules. I don't eat food in these places, or when I am traveling in these vehicles. One thing that you can use to move up your answer is, if I am with, for example, my younger siblings, or I am with people that I am with friends, I actually also try to make sure that I remind them, especially when they are the ones trying not to be considerate. Okay. So you're extending your consideration not just from yourself, but also for the people around you. Okay. So encouraging others to do the same. It shows a lot. Sure, I'm not good at SBC. That's why we're doing it now, Izzy. That's why we're practicing now, Izzy. Okay. It shows a lot of maturity when you actually give that in your answer. That you know what to do on your own, but you also extend that discipline that you have to the people you know. Now, playing might fall down and injure themselves. Correct. Do not eat or drink. Very good. Do not bring durian. Yes, there's a specific rule on that. Now, we have discussed a couple of things here, talking about making sure we give reminders to people we know, making way for people alighting, offering seats, not making noise, moving to the back to make space, talk softly. Now, can you say you like did it before, then you realize your mistake, and then you changed? Rizwana, I will agree to that. Yes. So, Rizwana, it will also depend on how the question was being asked. Okay. So now I'm gonna move on, huh? Because later you go and say, sure, I'm given this question, I will tell all these 5 things. You can. But if I were to structure, let's talk about structure now, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. If How do you show consideration in public transport? The structure is, for example, using Peel. Okay. Because you were saying Cheyenne. Who was it? Cheyenne, or was it Easy? Okay. If I were to structure this, right? Your first point, you don't go straight to like, I show by blank, 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 blank. Okay, organize it properly by saying your points. Start with an introduction by saying, there are a lot of ways that I actually show consideration on public transport. These ways can be that I do with myself, or that I do for other people. Okay, so you kind of like showed an umbrella theme for everything that you're gonna say later on, correct? So you say that there's many, and that these are things that you can do on yourself, and then for with other people as well. So E is when you start enumerating them. Now, question, do you need to say all these things? One, two, because for example, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I will give you 2 options. I usually tell my students, follow the rule of 3. Okay? Give 3 and explain them very solidly. Because when there's too many, right, it just drowns all the few ones that you miss, you started giving. I always say give 3 solid ones that you can properly elaborate. Okay, so let's say I would give 3, right? I would go and say, because Rizwana, I am going up to something. I am moving towards the question of Rizwana earlier when she said, sure, can I say it in a way where like I committed a mistake and then I learned from it? I'm going there, Rizwana. So let's say I choose 3. I'm going to go and say, these 3, for example, firstly, secondly, and lastly. So then it's easy for them to follow you. Okay, 3 points. I know she's about to end because she said lastly. Okay, so I make sure that I don't, I don't, I make sure that I don't enjoy comfort at the expense of others who are vulnerable. So you do the offering of the seats, right? This one is also, the making noise is very good, because there's so many of them, like using earphones, talking softly, they all belong to the same one. And perhaps, for example, number 3, moving back to the back of the bus to make space, and so on. Okay, or if you really want to push for 5, just make sure you are aware of your time. Go for 3, explain them properly. Okay, because you can talk about not eating and so on. Now, then comes the ask the elderly to move to the priority seat so other people can sit on their normal seat. Okay, so rule of 3, you can go for more, but just make sure you properly use your signposting. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, lastly, like that. Okay. Now, the next E is when you give an evidence. That means to say evidence can be 2 things: personal experience or statistics, or both. Okay. You can say this is when your question comes in, Rizwana. Your personal experience can be the mistake that you did. So personal experiences can be yours. I would suggest it has to be yours. It's easier to elaborate it when it's yours. Okay? Or it can be from other people's experience that you've heard. Story of your sister, story of your mom, and then you remember it vividly, so it's fine. Okay? Or others, it could be it's a situation that you just saw, but you saw it with your own eyes, so you can still elaborate it. So personal experiences can be yours and can be other people's. The whole point is, if you can detail it out, that's good. Okay, so then Rizwana, you can then use that experience. I actually remember one time, for example, I was young, I was naive, I was having fun with my friends, I just kept talking, and then I realized actually somebody tapped me on the back and told me, hey, more people are going to be coming in because it's rush hour. It's best if you move back so that we make space for the people coming in. So for example, so you can go and say, I felt very ashamed, but the person was nice enough to say it softly so I don't get embarrassed in front of everyone. But I'm also actually very happy that I was told. So from then on, I always I paid attention all the time for where I'm standing and making sure that I make space for people who are gonna board the bus. Okay, so can you state, illustrate, and explain? Okay, Cheyenne, good question. Sure. And then link back to the question, do a quick summary. So those are the things that I do. Those are some of the things, if you think there's still more, some of the things that I actually always do to show consideration when in public transportation, and I think it's very important, and so on. So go back to the question, wrap up your answer, give what do you call this? Too high, Mr. Stop. And then you get too high, too inside. Okay. Question about what if I use a different structure? I use trees, or my teacher taught me peace, or I was taught to use peers. I don't mind, as long as you follow a response framework. Trees, peace, peel, peers, whatever that is. It's important that you have a response framework so you know what to say next. It structures your answer so then you don't go off topic, and then it also helps the examiner understand you better because it's structured enough. You get what I mean? Okay, as long as you have a structure to follow. What we do here in Writers of Work, nonetheless, especially for PSLE has a new format, right? New format. So we teach a different way to unpack the picture stimulus, because now it's a real life photograph instead of a hand-drawn poster. And we also updated the structure that we use. We don't use peel anymore, we use meet. But do keep in mind, for secondary students, we actually have more than one structure. It's mainly because we study the different types of questions being asked to secondary students. Now, there are questions that are argumentative in type, right? So in that case, we specified a specific scare structure to our students. We call it scare, but we made a structure to make sure that they follow a very specific flow for argumentative types of questions. And then we give them a specific structure for questions that are descriptive in nature. Right. So follow one, master one. And then the moment you start realizing, this question type is always asked, how can I answer it best? Then you can actually create your own structure. For argumentative, I always start with like 2 supporting arguments, and I give um, I give a rebuttal here. Counter arguments here like that. So you have to think about these things, right? Okay. Now, political, economical, social. Oh, I like this. Technological, logical, environmental. Okay. Why am I not number one? Correct. So people here are typing a few things. So these are things we can talk about in the coming days for oral. As in, I can teach you, for example, when you're asked, right? They always ask you questions like, "How can you, okay, help?" Right? So helping, for example, you start with individual, in the family, community, and school, in the whole country like that. We do kind of like flow. We follow a structure like that. Okay, so there are structures like this that you can use. So people, some of you who cannot lecture, have so many ideas. I don't know which one to say first. That's the purpose of following a response structure, to help you structure your ideas properly and say them in a more organized way. And to those of you who actually cannot say anything, like, sure, what's the point of a structure if I have nothing to say? Okay, at least the structure pushes you to kind of like, it forces you to think about, oh, okay, I know the next one is elaboration. How can I elaborate this? So at least it pushes you what to say next. Okay, even if it's sometimes kind of mental block is sometimes there. Okay, so that's for public transport. So prelim 1 week. How? Hi, are you ready, Mariah? Okay, I know it's coming up. That's why we're ramping up on these live sessions and making sure we cover as many topics as we can, because it's very important that you expose yourself to these commonly tested themes. Improvements. How can students be responsible commuters? Why should we give up seats? There's a lot of questions I want to consider here, but it's already 6:55. I'm not ready. You are ready. Trust me, you are. Okay. What makes you think I'm ready? Okay, everyone. What I'm going to try to do now is because we have about 5 minutes left, I don't think 5 minutes is enough for a new question. Let's do one thing. Where do I add? Okay, let's do one thing here. Let's talk about tomorrow got live. Yes, tomorrow has live. Let's talk about keywords and signpostings that you can use when you're giving oral answers. Okay, for example, if I am enumerating, let's talk about enumerating or ending or everyday got live. Rizwana, good question. Not every day, but we do a lot of them. And also in a day, right? The number of live sessions may vary as well. It could be whole day, sometimes specific timings. So what I suggest, Rizwana, is you check out our posts every Monday. We post our weekly live schedules every Monday. Okay? So that you at least know specifically what's coming out for the upcoming week. But I can tell you, at least since you are here now, we are here now. For this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, I have. At least every 5:30, we have 5:30 live sessions from today all the way to Friday. Okay. Okay. Yes. But it's already 6:57. I guess I'll continue a few more things tomorrow. Do you have a specific I will continue public transport, but I may consider another theme as well to continue off, because you're all very smart people. You gave me a lot of good points. So I will consider a different theme tomorrow, and perhaps also answer a few more questions on public transport before we proceed. You want to do technology, is it, Mariah Carey? Technology is a very important theme that we all have to grow our content knowledge on. But you do notice that we touched a few things on technology from public transport already. See, right? Putting up all the TVs there, and even even the even the SMRT, for example, updating the way gantries work. Being able to tap your phone in the gantry is already another technology area that you can angle public transport with. The gantries, the ads, the the TVs inside and outside, the announcement system, and so on. Yeah. Hello, Ash. Welcome to you. Mm-hmm. Who's that boy? Oh, Mariah Carey. Ah, Sean, it's you! My goodness, Sean, how are you? How's life been? I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, happy that you're here. Happy that I saw you before I end the live, Sean. Oh, we have a lot of shares today. Thank you for sharing the live session, everyone. So, Sean, you just made it on time before I end the live. And 6.2K likes. Thank you. Okay. I know we're really on it's really full steam ahead, everyone. I need you all to be strong. Let's be strong together. Examinations are coming up. Let's make the most of our live sessions together. Join us for a few more live sessions in the future. But for now, it's 6:59. I shall let you go. Um, Balance it out. Get some rest. Rest is part of the process for your brain to function well. It needs the rest. It needs the rest and sleep. Okay. So, everyone, do remember, if you want to make things easier for your revisions, we have a 2+1 promotion ongoing. Sign up for 12 lessons. You get 2 lessons for free. That's over $400 of savings. That's the best and easiest way to, do a more targeted revision. Otherwise, let's continue doing live sessions together. Share the live, follow us. And I'll see you, I would say, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.